Welcome back, everybody. My name is Emily Gear. I'm a transformative energy healer and a multi-dimensional channel. That is my dog, Joseph. It is almost dinner time, but we're going to do this reading before, and he's unhappy about it, but we'll be okay. So I just wanted to thank you guys and welcome you back. Before I get started with the reading, I just want to draw your attention to the screen, which is where you will find my website, and that is how to schedule. Oh my God, how to schedule an energy healing or reading session with me. And usually, all of my sessions are a combination of the two. Additionally, you'll find on that website a couple offerings online via email, which are slightly less expensive if that is an issue for you at this time. So you can check those out on my website as well. All right, so pardon again my setup here. I'm in New York, not in the Midwest where I'm usually doing my readings at, and I have not figured out my lighting or anything like that. And I actually just spent the better part of an hour trying to get this to live stream, but I just couldn't get it to work. So I'm now exhausted. It's a lot darker. I'm frustrated. But we're going to go ahead and do this reading anyway. So this is going to be for the new moon in Scorpio, which is taking place tomorrow, the 27th, at least here on the East Coast of the United States. And we're going to look at how that's going to affect whatever you want to call your sort of sacred union, divine union, twin flames, what else do I call them? Divine complements, soulmates, even divine soulmates, whatever you want to call it, okay? God, Joseph just got frisky immediately, probably because I started talking. But so I decided to go ahead and do this. I'm trying not to perpetuate any kind of addictive behaviors on the part of viewers regarding watching readings about relationships. But I don't think most of you are those people because, frankly, my readings are not those kinds of readings. They always tell you the shit you don't want to hear, like what you need to do to work on yourself, or what needs healing, what needs to be improved, what needs your attention in order to move yourself forward. So I hope that these readings are actually helpful, and that I am not in any way indulging anybody's addictive behavior. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and do the reading, okay? So the first question that I wanted to ask was really, how is this new moon in Scorpio affecting the sacred union overall? So meaning both of the twins or complements or whatever, counterparts. So that is the divine masculine and the divine feminine. I'm going to use the word he to describe the divine masculine and she to describe the divine feminine, regardless of the fact that, as we know, they may or may not be in corresponding physical bodies. They may be men or women, okay? Or, frankly, transgender with a different way of describing themselves. So, all right, so I'm asking Source Creator. I've already opened up the Akashic Records, and we're going in through the Book of Truth. How will this new moon in Scorpio affect the divine complements or twin flames? The first card out is the crown chakra, which I fully believe and absolutely have been experiencing even just in the last, let's say, 24 hours, even since I did the collective reading yesterday. Let's get some more cards on how this new moon is affecting twin flames. This card came out yesterday. Okay. I actually want to take this one by itself. It's the crown chakra. And I have been having a lot of different energies a lot of different activations in the crown chakra. My crown is very active anyway, because though I am a medium, I do not connect. I guess everybody does their thing differently. I don't connect through the third eye. I connect through the crown, and I don't connect with spirit guides or anything like that. I connect directly up through source, who then connects me to record keepers or angelics or whatever it is that I am to receive the message from that day. But I always go through source, and for me that's an important line of protection to make sure that I am always speaking to who I am told I am speaking to, right? So my crown is very, very, very active. And I've been receiving a lot of downloads, at least in the last 24 hours for myself. And this tells me that you probably have too. For me, this surrounded self-love, and it surrounded the release of certain blockages that I was aware of. And yet I as a human being did not really know how to let them down, okay? How to let these blocks down. And I essentially surrendered into the divine process of doing this instead of wanting to be in charge of how this would happen. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear it, but my voice box is like making this weird screechy sound. And what I want to say, actually, the cards that follow this crown chakra card do relate to that story. And I'm just going to explain how this happened for me in case you are experiencing exactly the same thing, or you might be experiencing something that is similar. And I went to sleep last night. It was very late because I had gone out with some of my friends, and we did, actually, I used to do paranormal investigations when I worked through my mediumship, and I no longer do that. But I did go, and of course I cleared myself a number of times because that's a great opportunity to receive different attachments and energy drains and things like that. And I got home and I went to bed, and it's like the portal that I had opened up through my crown to continue clearing and releasing as I was doing the process last night stayed open, and Source was sending me this unconditional love, and I was receiving it in a way that I haven't before. I was recognizing it and receiving it instead of rejecting it. That sounds crazy, but I think that probably a lot of us do that because I thought I was receiving it before, but it's like until you really experience what it feels like to fully receive it. And frankly, I have no doubt that I have more blockages to remove. Okay. So I'm not even saying that like I completely opened up and fully received everything that I needed to receive. I'm sure I received everything I needed to receive at that time. And that is true for you also. So the long and the short of it is, I always have to go around the block to get back to the point, is that the next card coming up here is the Five of Pentacles, feeling alone. We've got the Two of Pentacles, balance, and we have the Nine of Wands, rest and reconsider. I really feel like whatever it is that you are going through with regards to this new moon is a direct source intervention to clearing whatever it is that we have done to ourselves to keep us separated from ourselves. Do you see how this woman is holding a lantern, but she's far away from home? I don't know if you can really see. It's kind of dark here now, unfortunately, and my lighting is limited, but she's far away from home. And so she's separate from that place that she calls home. And what is that place within each one of us but our hearts, right? And so we are drastically, or have been in the past, drastically out of balance in some way, because we should not be, especially as twins or divine counterparts, or however you want to put it. Our job is to eliminate the separation between ourselves and our true selves, and ourselves and source energy. And the way that that plays out for us in the physical world is via the interaction and the healing that takes place between you and the other person who is holding your same energy. Okay? So, this is what I always tell my clients when I'm working with them, because this is how it's been shown to me, is that there's nothing wrong with wanting to be together with your divine counterpart or complement, twin, but they are not the point necessarily, because I mean they are to an extent, because that is removing the division between the whole, right? Creating unity consciousness, creating unity as a divine being, and therefore with the divine. But the process begins within yourself, which everybody says ad nauseum, but it's not about shutting this other person out so that you can work on yourself. It's really about seeing all of it as one. So source and the two counterparts as one equilateral triangle is kind of how I see it. And as you remove the blockages within yourself to full unity in yourself, and to me that is about removing the blockages of unconditional love from source, right? Which is the same as the unconditional love between you and the other person. Then you are, without even trying, pulling this person in, and not in a manipulative way. This is just the way that it works when you are removing the blockages to unity consciousness. When you are removing the blockages to union within yourself, the other self being this other person, as well as, and probably first, your divine source creator, God, whatever you want to call it, the universe, because you are a spark of it. You are it, okay? So I hope that makes some sense, but I feel like this corresponds very directly to the downloads I received very recently regarding literally surrendering to the removal of these blocks, which we have held on to for a very, very long time. I don't know why this feels like that sense of holding on to. I guess it's reminding me of the Four of Pentacles here. But I think what is, the card is find balance. And that's what occurs when we allow the blockages to be removed. We begin to unify our energy internally, right? We've heard that a million times. But I can't stress enough how much this is not just about bringing masculine and feminine together inside, but it is about the unity with everything that exists, and that is achieved through this unity with literally everything that exists, i.e. source, creator, God. Okay? And I feel like there may have been this like pushing and pulling, this accepting and rejecting. There is this process that has been going on for us for a very long time internally. Because we didn't know any better, is what they're saying. And we did know, so we do know better, but we know better on a level that we have to allow to come in, that we have to allow the recognition of, because it's almost like layers of amnesia that we go through when we're learning how this process works, this process of eliminating duality on this planet. And I truly believe that's what divine complements and twin flames are here to do, is eliminate duality. And that is like a huge fucking job, right? Because everything in our world is duality. Good, bad, light, dark, you know? So what I want to say, the way I know I've been rambling. The way I want to explain this is that for the twins at this time, via this new moon, that there is a new beginning, a new start, because if we are allowing source to come in and co-create with you this new beginning, by simply allowing the blockages to go, the fear, It's fear that's within us that blocks us. They're saying fear of who you really are, fear of your power. We keep ourselves in these small boxes because we are so afraid of the outside. But you have to remember, the outside is us too. There is no separation. This is what they keep saying. And this is why my messages, this is why I always feel like there's no way that I am assisting anyone's reading addiction, because a good portion of viewers have already clicked off this video when I started talking that shit, because they don't get it yet. And you will get it, they will get it, everybody's going to get it in time, because we all are going to be getting it. I believe that, you know, those who are on this sort of sacred union path are leading the way to showing the entire collective this, because we are truly all one. Everyone. All right, so I'm going to stop with that, but I feel like that's the energy coming through for this new moon. If I had to break it down into layman's terms, I would say that this is about the removal, the divine removal of obstacles. And I'm getting the picture of the elephant in Kim Kranz's Wild Unknown animal, what was it called? Animal Oracle. And it's the elephant, and it's holding a flame, and it reminds me of Ganesh, Lord Ganesha, who is the remover of obstacles. So it comes in, I feel like, just like a bolt of lightning, or like an elephant trampling through, removing obstacles, because on some level you have finally allowed it. We can sit here and fight it longer if we want. Nine of Wands. We have fucking fought this shit our whole lifetimes because we were afraid. Like I said, this is not about right and wrong. This is about the fact that we are at a fear point for so long, and now that is being removed. Those things that are in our sort of dark underbelly, you know, that scorpionic, like, underworld, that is all being seen for what it is. And they're actually showing me that it's both truth and illusion, which is an interesting way of demonstrating the dualistic concept and reminding me that they are both the same thing. On some level, they are both the same, and so therefore nothing needs to be feared. Okay, all right. Is there anything else you want to share about this? This is a big concept. I don't want to even pull more cards about it because I just feel like it's going to complicate matters. The only thing they just keep saying, wanting to bring up resistance, and don't resist, do not resist. But they don't even need to say that for those that this activation is happening for, because it is natural. It's just coming through because you are in this place and ready for it. So if anyone who is in great resistance, they're simply going to receive the activation at another time. So I also want to say that there's none of this shit where they're like, oh, last moment to, like, you know, go through the portal or some fucking bullshit, because I hear that stuff all the time. And I don't think that that's true. That's my opinion. I feel like we receive the activations, we go through the portals, we learn the lessons, we wake up, we do everything in divine timing when it's supposed to happen for us, if our soul has chosen to do that. Okay. All right, let's move on. We're going to get into some more mundane questions right now. So I'm going to use the Golden Wheel Tarot for the Divine Masculine. I'm going to refer to, again, the Divine Masculine is he. All right, so we've got some cards already. How is the Divine Masculine feeling? We have the Five of Wands. We have the Page of Wands. And we have the Ace of Swords. This makes total sense with what I have been feeling in this part of my energy, because we both have both inside us. Again, we are not really Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. We are both. And as we unify the two, then we are playing out the story of unity consciousness, erasing duality. Okay, so the message here is that this again is that really profound kick in the pants. I keep saying that. I feel like there is this like from within is this push, this discomfort in the energy level, this knowledge that something is brewing, something is bubbling up, something is changing. I see these birds in the background, and those feel like the cat's been left out of the bag, or, you know, they released the hounds or something. There's something about freedom up here. And I think that within their own physical body, within their own energy, they're feeling this need for the freedom from the binds that they have placed upon themselves, whether it's all about choices or decisions that they haven't made in the past about things that are not serving them anymore, or whether it's about their beliefs. And they're probably related. I mean, they are related. They're probably both of those things are going on and they're related. Okay. So it really comes down to releasing from a certain set of beliefs and allowing the gestation of a new set of beliefs, which is closer to, or is, one's own personal truth here with this Ace of Swords. This shit does not stop coming out right now, and because it is real. It is real right now. This push toward the truth. And one's own personal truth. And with this snake just sort of wrapped around this, I get this feeling that it is a deep, unconscious, transformative truth. Are you feeling this in your conscious mind? I have to say that this is like an ideal combination of conscious mind and subconscious mind working together, because we have this sword of clarity right here wrapped in with this snake of transformation. Something is transforming and beginning anew with this page. I'm getting the word restless with this as well, and that works well with this Five of Wands. So I feel like they are very restless. They are seeking this sort of freedom of truth, freedom of speech, freedom of ideas, freedom. Freedom from whatever they have kept themselves in chains with. And what I want to say is, for many of them, I'm sure it has to have to do with this idea that's affecting all of us right now. For me, it was all about like self-love and allowing the love of the divine to come in to teach me what self-love really feels like. Because for me, self-love was always tied up in some other judgment of myself. And judgment is not love. Judgment is fucking judgment. Judgment is separation and creating separation and duality within yourself, okay? So they're feeling this truth. And I think they're getting it on a conscious level. And they're feeling restless, to answer that question really specifically. All right, so for the Divine Feminine, I'm going to use the Moonchild Tarot. And we're going to ask the same question. How is the Divine Feminine feeling? 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 Got the High Priestess and the Three of Swords. I'm getting this. I'm going to pull a few more cards while I'm talking. I'm getting this profound, deep need to finally surpass, overcome, release this sense of hurt. Because nobody wants to live that way anymore. Yeah, King of Wands. This is really just like making the choice and taking control of the situation to overcome what has been a lifetime, potentially a lifetime full of self-judgment, hurt, pain, fear, anxiety, worry that you're not good enough, something. And this is a departure into this energy of there is self-worth here for sure, but let's say it's more like, they keep repeating the word self-sovereignty, and I literally hate the word sovereignty because I think it comes with so many different meanings. But this is, to me, is really all about living without this external. This is the external world. I told one of my clients recently, actually I tell my clients this all the time, your attachment is your pain. All the things that you are mentally attached to, right? Swords, mentally attached to, is what is causing you pain. It's not the thing itself. It's not your love for the thing, because love is different than attachment. It's this expectation, this mental attachment that's causing you all of this pain. And I feel like this is this deep realization of like, I am powerful. I can just decide that I'm not going to do this anymore. And everybody, until they get to that point, is always like, what are you talking about? How? Because it feels that hard, until that one day when finally you simply surrender to God and let that fucking energy in, and it changes your life. And it doesn't always happen in one day. It didn't happen for me in one day. I'm sure I have more to go. You know, I am no guru. I am definitely on this path with all of you. And there's a deep spiritual growth that comes with realizing that and being able to surrender in that way completely and just allow. And in that way, you become powerful, because you have just changed your own life by not trying to force shit anymore, not trying to hold on to shit anymore. It's such a paradox, but it's not, because again, you are a spark of the divine. You are part of God. And realizing that and allowing that and letting that flow is the most powerful thing you could possibly do for yourself. So this is a release of pain through surrender to not holding on to it anymore. And it is a powerful act to make that surrender. And when it comes time for you to really do it, you will do it. You will know. You will just know. Okay? Now that may be easy for me to say, but when I say that, I mean it will take as long or as short as it needs to for you personally. So, I truly feel that I can give you instructions on how to do that. Until you're ready to hear them, you're not going to get it. And when you're ready to hear them, you're already in that place where you could surrender this to God on your own. Okay? It's not to say don't go for energy healing and stuff like that. That can absolutely support you in the process. I'd be shooting myself in the foot if I said that, and I don't mean it that way, but you are the powerful one here. We need to stop giving up our power to everything else in the world. All right, the next question is, what changes is the divine masculine making in his life right now? What changes is the divine masculine making in his life right now? With regard to the new moon, that is the question here. This is all about the new moon. What changes is the new moon helping the divine masculine make in his life right now? Let's say that. What changes is this new moon helping the divine masculine to make in his life right now? This fucking Two of Wheels comes out constantly. What changes is the new moon helping the divine masculine to make right now? Okay. Two of Wheels with the Four of Wands. The Knight of Pentacles. Or Wheels. Knight of Wheels. I'm really, from these cards, getting this sense that he may be finally starting to feel like he is capable of doing this. Because for a long time, I feel like the divine masculine has been questioning his worthiness, his ability, his own power, right? Not unlike the feminine here. Because, hey, we are all one, really, right? It almost makes no sense to split it up between divine masculine and feminine. I'm going to be honest. That might change in my readings going forward. I'm really getting a sense of finally feeling like he can do this, whatever it is that he needs to do. Okay. And we're talking all about breaking some chains, working out of these really profoundly debilitating patterns that we have probably held our entire lives. And I've talked about these through the last several readings, but it's really coming to a head right now. I kind of feel like this guy is taking his toy and going home. And because he knows that someone else is going to value this toy better, he knows that he deserves better. He knows his worth, okay? And so there may be choices to be made with this Two of Wheels here. Maybe some of you are in situations, I mean, this can be a marriage card. Maybe some of you are in situations where you have to choose to stay or to go, or to work on this or not. Maybe this is not about a marriage. Maybe this is about something that you're committed to strongly. So it could be family, it could be job, it could be career. And the choice may be to go toward it more or to pull away from it. But either way, I think that the sort of important qualifier here is, where is my pentacle best invested? And where does it serve me best? Because it's fucking my pentacle. It's mine. I'm not giving this one away. I'm spending this one on myself. That's not selfish. It's because you probably haven't spent it on yourself ever before. And that's coming out. That's what's coming out. That is why this energy exists. This struggle for freedom, this struggle for clarity, for authenticity, because you keep spending your pentacles in places where you think you're supposed to, but you never stop to consider what the real truth is, right? And that's the truth that's been buried underneath. And it's the truth of needing to confront the separation within yourself and the places where you have denied yourself over and over again in order to hold together a job, hold together a family, hold together some shit. Is it salvageable? Maybe. Everybody's situation is different. Maybe something just sort of needs to change. Maybe you're the one who wasn't investing and now you're choosing that you're going to go back in and invest in the thing that truly makes you free. And maybe this stability makes you feel free. Or maybe it's your chains. So whatever that is for you, it's about taking your pentacle. They're like taking your pentacle and putting it where your mouth is. I feel like making it count. And it's not to say that you've not done anything of value. Everything you've done is for a reason. Everything you've done serves a purpose and was in divine timing, and you are exactly where you need to be. But the place you need to be right now is evaluating where you have not loved yourself enough, where you've not valued yourself enough, where you've thrown that pentacle to the wind instead of picking it up and taking it where it's going to do some good. Okay. I'm hearing that a lot of you have directed your energy to things outside of yourself, which is natural. That's what we're taught, right? And that's okay if on the internal you've already reached that place of understanding that you are one with everything else. But if you are doing it as a way to atone for sins, or a way to feel like you're doing good in the world because you think somewhere on an internal level you're not good enough, or you're just a lowly man on this earth, right? Then something needs to shift. The truth needs to shift. And that's the freedom. That's the discomfort. It's because we're living these lives that we downplay ourselves in. We don't rise up to our true potential, our true power as part of source energy, as part of God. When you do that, you are living your truth. You then begin to attract in what truly resonates with that frequency. And so the things that don't work or don't resonate that as well are going to start falling away. That's like Law of Attraction 101, and that's where it's actually useful. So I feel like that's the changes that he's making. And so for each one of you divine masculines, that's going to look different in your lives. And so for you, those of you that are cross-watching, I don't want you to make a lot of assumptions, because that can be very damaging for you and your journey, your path. I don't want you to assume what this is going to mean. But I will say that if you connect into your heart and you feel into what this probably means and how this really registers with you on your gut level, it's probably similar for them. Why? Because we're all one. We are all connected. You are the same energy. So you just have to do it not via the head, but via the heart. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to look at what changes is the divine feminine making. Oh, wrong deck. What changes is the divine feminine making? This is going to be a long ass reading. What changes is the divine feminine making? I realized that when I split them up, divine masculine first and then feminine later, everybody only watches half of it. So now I'm doing it this way. I'm so conniving. Okay. What changes is the divine feminine making? What changes? That's right. We changed how we were asking that question. What changes is the new moon assisting the divine feminine in making? What changes is the new moon assisting the divine feminine in making? Anything else? Anything else? Okay. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Lovers. And we have the Three of Cups. This is interesting. Okay. The first thing that's coming to me actually is for those of you, because I know a lot of you divine feminines out there are in a situation where you're waiting for your divine masculine to choose you in some sense. Whether it's to choose you between another person, to choose to move toward where you live, choose to not spend so much time at work, spend time with you. You're waiting to be chosen. And the thing is, the lie that you're telling yourself is that you have to wait for this person to choose you. The reality is, and I know you've all heard this and you don't even want to hear this come out of my mouth, but I'm going to tell you right now, you have to choose you. Until you do that, I feel that your divine complement is not going to be able to choose you. And that's because they're showing me like there is just like an energetic pathway between you that is blocked off until you open it up by choosing yourself. And then that unblocks your half of the channel. Now they have a half of the channel too, and guess what? This process, taking their toy and going home, this is them choosing themselves. And as they do that, that unblocks their half of the channel. And then you've got 2 open channels. And then you have the chance to choose each other. But you gotta both choose each other. And what if there's some of you out there who are like, oh my God, what if they don't choose me? Well, you know what? You gotta let all of that go. And that's why sometimes in the beginning, when you are first getting used to what this means, you have to just let go of the other person, because you need to develop. I'm gonna make this sound. This is gonna sound judgy for a second. I don't mean it that way, okay? But you've got to develop the spiritual maturity to understand that you have no control over what that person does, no matter if you think about it day and night or you completely let it go. And your energy is going to follow the pattern of your thoughts. So do you want your thoughts to delay the whole fucking process by being obsessed with whether this person is choosing you or not? Or do you want to open the whole channel up by choosing yourself now? They want me to remind you, for those of you who are dealing with people who you feel that you need to be chosen over or above, like say they have another partner, or they have, I don't know, maybe they're choosing their mother over you, or who knows, it could be anything. For a lot of you, it's, they might be married and choosing that person over and over again. Well, guess what? That's, first of all, that's their right. And until you, like I said, until you choose yourself, they're just not going to be able to have that same experience. And you're both going to be working on that simultaneously, right? That's how this works, is incremental movements on both sides. But they also want me to remind you that you are also connected to that person that you want to be chosen over. So many people call these people karmics, right? Which, fine, whatever. It's language, it's imperfect. So we can call them karmics right now. You are also a reflection of that karmic. So what happens when you choose you? Your counterpart chooses themselves, and maybe that karmic chooses him or herself too. I'm just saying, this does not have to have a loser here. Like, we can all win. That's what unity consciousness is about. It's about everyone receiving the unconditional love that they deserve. Why? Because we are all sparks of the divine. None of us is garbage, okay? And I don't know why that word was just chosen, but somebody must be calling themselves garbage, or the karmic garbage, or something garbage, because they literally put that word in my mouth. Okay. All right. So next question is, what is the divine masculine's hopes and dreams, hopes and desires for your situation? What are the divine masculine's hopes and desires for your situation? Oh, for God's sakes. All right, we're just going to look. A lot of them came out. I don't like when that happens. Okay, Knight of Swords popped individually. Then we have the Nine of Wands. Oh, I love this card. I haven't seen it yet. This is the Moon card in this deck. The wolf and the like mandala looking thing. Nine of Wands with the Moon. The Knight of Cups. They get the Seven of Swords here and the 10 of Cups. I feel like this whole line of cards means... Don't think I showed you these. 10 of Cups. They don't want to keep up this charade either. They know something isn't matching up here. They know they're not in the right spot. They're choosing themselves. They probably know, they're probably recognizing the connection with their divine feminine at this point, whether they know what to call it or not. I feel like if this is all resonating with you, this person is recognizing the connection, and they don't want to hide it anymore. They don't want to play they're tired of hiding it. They're tired of feeling like they don't understand. They're tired of feeling in the dark. They're tired of feeling crazy, obsessed even. They just want to clear the air. I feel like this is about clearing the air about the way that they feel, or what's going on for them, or how things are aligning. I feel that this person really wants to, in some way, reset the board, clear the air. They just want to move over this hump, whatever it is, the sticking point. And the sticking point goes all the way back to the beginning of this reading and those invisible blocks we put within ourselves, where we decide we can't go past this because I don't trust myself, or I don't trust people, or I don't want to get hurt, or I don't want to be vulnerable, or I don't want to. They're done. They're tired of that. Now, whether or not they actually take the action now, I don't know, but we did get the Knight of Swords. So some of them are taking some kind of action. Whether it comes down to removing the obstacles within themselves, which inevitably begins to remove the obstacles on the outside of themselves, because remember, we're breaking down duality. It's not inside and outside. It's all the same. And I'm going to tell you, and I don't say these things lightly because I do not like to create expectation, but I do feel that they really do want to express their emotions, whatever that might be, even if they're complicated, even if they're like, I don't understand what I'm feeling, but I feel like you are home. Okay, that's what I'm getting. All right. What are the hopes and dreams? What are the hopes at this time for the Divine Feminine? What are the hopes and desires at this time for the Divine Feminine? Okay. I was getting this just from this first card. I should have just talked. The Hanged Man with the Eight of Swords, Three of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. Immediately when I saw this, I feel like Divine Feminine just wants to spread her wings. I feel like she just wants to be free of this really painful. It's not the connection that's painful. This painful prison of her own making. I just heard the burden of expectation. She wants to be free of the burden of expectation. And how do we do that? That is so fucking hard. I am cursing so much today. I'm sorry. And the answer is they're giving me is we just do. We have to trust in Source. There is no other answer to that. So if you're sitting here watching this, I can't imagine you've gotten this far and you don't have some belief in God, okay? Not religion, but God. And we have to trust in Source. And know that everything that is happening in perfect timing and for the perfect reason, and the perfect outcome will be achieved. And that we don't need to know what that is necessarily, but we probably do know in our heart of hearts. If you really need to know, just don't go here with it, because this will mix it all up. This creates this, which is entrapment in our own minds. So I feel like she just really wants to fly free of all this. She wants to leave it behind. She does not want to carry the burden of expectation anymore. And I am going to tell you, it is yours to set down at any time that you want. Look at this whole thing from a different perspective. This is not about pain and suffering or waiting for somebody to choose you. This is about choosing yourself and setting off the chain reaction that allows the entire thing to come full circle. And half asleep this morning, I asked God, I was like, why am I getting this? Because all this, Like unconditional love energy was flowing in, and I was like literally saying, I love God, I love myself. It was like crazy. It was weird what was going on in my head. I was saying it in my head, not out loud, like half asleep. That would be strange. But stranger things have happened. But anyway, and what Source said back to me was, it's happening because you're allowing it. It means that this whole fucking time I could have allowed it, but I didn't. Why? Because I wasn't ready. It wasn't the right time. So you just need to trust that even in your fucking sleep, if it's the right time, you will download it. Okay? It will happen. The next question is, what message would the Divine Masculine like to give the Divine Feminine? Let's go with these little, I forget what they're called. Lovers Oracle. Lovers Oracle. Let's get a couple of these. What message would the Divine Masculine like to give the Divine Feminine at this time of the new moon in Scorpio, please? Oh, shit. Oh, twin flames. Your passion ignites. So if you're wondering if this person is your twin or divine complement or whatever, again, language fails us to describe the absolute perfection of a divine union. But yes, this is your person. And this is the masculine to the feminine. I think that they are saying that they are in recognition of the specialness of your connection. One more, please. One more for the divine masculine to the divine feminine. Freedom. Oh my God. What did I say earlier? How did this reading start? With him feeling the need for freedom. And everything I just said about all we need to do is choose to allow. And this card says, there is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. Do you need anything else? This is from the divine masculine to the divine feminine. The path is clear if you want it to be. All right. Now, divine feminine to divine masculine, please. Oh, shit. Too many. Let's get a couple messages from the divine feminine to the divine masculine. Kind of love this one. I just saw it pop out. Divine feminine to divine masculine. A message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. That is very accurate. Okay. This is amazing. Okay. Divine feminine to divine masculine. Transformation. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. Also, not all of these messages are super I mean, none of them are super negative, but some of them are like wait, or some of them are like, you know. So these are for real coming out because it's the truth. And finally, this is one of those maybe like hard love or tough love type messages. You may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. So that's divine feminine to divine masculine. And it's got a dove on the front, which is, you know, obviously all about peace. And we've talked about how just surrendering to it all gives you a kind of peace, even in turmoil, just knowing that there is a reason for all of this. We've mentioned that a number of times in this reading and in others. So that was divine feminine to divine masculine. Now, finally, I want to close the reading with a journey of love card for each of the divine masculine and divine feminine. So this is like a message from Source about your journey. Let's get one for the divine masculine at the time of this new moon, please. Message for the divine masculine at the time of this new moon. This one I will read from the book. This one? Yes. Okay. Why did I know that was going to come out? Oh my God. I'm going to pull one for the Divine Feminine now too. This is the Journey of Love card for the Divine Feminine, please. Okay. So, the masculine gets, of course, number 17, my lucky number. Her Grace. The goddess is awakening within your life. It may be within your own body, within a sensual deepening of a relationship with your own body or with the body of another, through expanding creativity, a sudden burst of feeling that you cannot logically explain, a desire to move, to dance, to express yourself, to sing, to write music, to draw, to play in nature, to swim and collect shells that lie on your back in the moonlight, gazing at the stars. Let her reach you. She is calling to you from ancient times, calling you to allow her more deeply into your life. Celebrate the Divine Feminine. She is coming to life for you. Whether man or woman, your life is about to be touched by her magic, never to be the same again. This oracle brings you a message. There is a woman who brings divine blessing into your life who is trying to connect with you more deeply. The blessing may be one that is obvious or one that is hidden in a challenge. The woman may be your own body, if you are female, or your own inner feminine, if you are male. It may be a spiritual or physical being, the great mother, your lover, your sister, or your dearest friend. It may be a woman as yet unknown to you, but who holds a soul contract with you, an agreement predestined to awaken you. The empowerment will come to you not by rejecting what is offered by this feminine presence, but by embracing it and finding your truth through it. This is exciting because it means you are growing. You are entering into the feminine temples of wisdom and finding home there. And then the poem at the end by Alana Fairchild is, I was born long before our time, and yet my time with you is something new. For you awaken in me a spirit that was longing for release, which are waiting for your touch. I thought I was safe to stay inside the boundaries and walls I carried with me. You touched all of me, and we walked outside the lines together. That is fucking amazing, given the rest of the Divine Masculine reading. So that's the message to the Divine Masculine. I don't think I even need to expand on that. That's just mic drop right there. Okay. The next one, the Divine Feminine, got Sweet Soul Rising. They almost go together, honestly. Okay, Sweet Soul Rising. You may feel lost in your own thoughts and feelings. Makes sense. This is the sweetness of surrender into another world. It's a time to dream, to wonder, not to be clear and sharp right at this precise moment. If you have a clear plan, let it become soft and feel your heart open to allowing whatever may be. We might believe that it is through action and dynamic assertiveness that we make our way through the world, and yet sometimes the sweetness of the soul rises, and instead we can flow gently with the currents of the cosmic ocean, unsure of where we are headed, but safe in the truth that all waters naturally return to the ocean. We have said all of this in these readings, where they are all waiting to go eventually anyway. You can use your own efforts to swim to your destination against the current at times, or you can float on the sweet love of your own soul as it enjoys the privilege of getting to know itself as one with the divine. This oracle brings you guidance now. Surrender and flow. This is not the time to assert your will and try to make things happen, no matter how much you may want to or believe that you should. There is something bigger happening, and everything is going to turn out perfectly according to a far larger plan. That includes your well-being too, beloved. Sometimes we have to let go of our expectations, like we talked about how that bigger plan will be achieved and just how to let it happen, trusting that it will actually take place even without us striving to make it so. This is one of those times. And the poem by Alana Fairchild is, with innocence I share my heart, a smile expressing with a tear sweet words and feelings that impart everything that I hold dear. The promise of a blossom high, the air is bathed in fragrant scent. To reach the sun, you have to fly. Desire wells with love that's meant. To wait for heaven's soft embrace, a fruit so firm and succulent, God's promise must remain so chaste while passion's glow is slowly spent. Such patience born with time's insight, my soul doth burn in embers light, and savors fresh and moist and ripe. God, I hate that word. The gift of love when it's right. When it's right, y'all. I hope you listened to the end of this because I feel like those two cards were so perfect for everything we talked about. And I just love when the randomness of card shuffling provides the perfect messages. So, folks, I hope that this resonated with you. Please do let me know in the comments. And I really appreciate all your likes and subscribes and shares. They mean the world to me, honestly, because I put in a ton of time doing this. And I, for real, check those and read those and look for them because they mean a lot. So thank you so much. And I'm just going to flip right over to my website again so that you can see it in case you decide that you would like to schedule an energy healing or session with me or reading with me, or just check out my website to see what else is offered there. And I am so grateful for all of you, and thank you very much for listening to me today, especially if you got this far with me. Thank you, and I will see you again soon. Bye.